honestly, there have been times where I'm like, why am I even recording this video? Like, is anyone going to see it? Is anyone even interested remotely in what I'm saying? And which is kind of like imposter syndrome that we all experience in different things that we do. But I think I have really gotten like a lot of support from YouTube. So I just wanted to say, you guys, thank you so much. Today, I wanted to share a bit about the process to which I was able to land an internal position in my company, and just kind of give you guys the behind the scenes of how that happened and what I had to do, what I was afraid of, and all the fun things in between. So stay tuned. So I recently put together a post on Instagram, and it was basically sharing 4 reasons why it might be time to move out of your current position or to look for something else. And researching on this post, I realized that only about, I believe, 14% of people are like fully comfortable in their position and feel like, listen, I have the best job and I don't need to make any changes or whatever. But then when it came time for me to make that choice, I realized that I did fall outside of the 14%, and this was because in my job at the time, I felt like everything just became a little too redundant. I was just doing the same thing over and over again. I wasn't being challenged enough. There was also the pay issue. So I was like, you know what, let me reach out to my boss, because I felt like at the time, I felt like that was the best way to be able to, address that issue. I realized that yes, I can mention it to my boss, but at the end of the day, it's in my hands. Like everything that I want to do, my career, every decision I want to do, it falls back into my hands. And yes, you can tell your manager, but then you're not guaranteed that your manager would actually go ahead and make the changes that you need to make. And for me, I realized that that was the case. I wasn't able to get the results that I needed, and so I had to take matters into my own hands. I think at that time, I just needed to grow. At that point, I just needed to grow to be able to take control of my own life, at least when it came to my career. And so the first thing that I actually did was come to the realization that I needed a change in my job. I wanted something more. I was yearning for something different. And once I came to that realization, like I said previously, the first thing I did was to reach out to my manager and say, like, this is what I'm looking for. How can you help me? And we had a few discussions, and we were on the right path, but unfortunately that didn't pan out. And so I believe it was on a Friday, after having a conversation with my previous manager, and I didn't get the outcome that I wanted. I did get positive feedback, and there were some changes made, but it still wasn't what I was looking for. So I put it on myself to go to the career website. So I went on our internal job portal, and then I saw this position. I was like, wait, I read the job description, and it was basically stuff that I had done before. So it felt like something that was right up my alley. So I was like, you know what, maybe let me look into this. And it was like a complete change from what I was currently doing, because at that time I was working in R&D, research and development, which is more hands-on, like 100% hands-on. And this position I was looking at was applications engineer, and I was like, I don't know what applications engineers do. I have worked with them within my team, but then I don't know exactly what it entails. And I think I just had like a whole different impression of what they do. So I was a little hesitant, but I still reached out to the person, and luckily enough, the person responded and was like, oh, if you're really serious about it, let's set up an informal meeting. And that's honestly how everything started. So first thing, come to the realization that you need to change. Second thing, reach out to your manager or boss and start making the changes with them. And then depending on how that goes, whether it's successful or not, you go ahead and look up positions that are open within the company. That's if that's the direction you're looking to go into. And if that's not the direction you're looking to go into, you can go into LinkedIn and Glassdoor and Indeed, and look up companies, positions, things that you're looking for, and basically do that research. And So for me, after I finally came to the realization that maybe I'm going to consider this applications position, I had the preliminary meeting with the hiring manager, and he kind of asked me questions. He explained a bit more about the role to me, and it did feel like something that I was actually interested in, and it kind of coincided with what I was doing outside of work. Seemed like it was going to help me become better at it, and so I gave the green light to the hiring manager, and I was like, you know what, this is something I'm interested in. And he was like, okay, next steps, I need to send him an updated resume. And guys, this is a tip. You need to constantly be updating your resume. Like, whether you're working, whether you're looking for a job, you need to constantly be updating your resume, because you never know when it might come in handy. Because at that point when he asked me for that, I was like, yo, I don't even remember like where my resume is or where to even start from, and I hadn't been recording the stuff that I've been working on. And that's one tip. If you're working, make sure that you have a place, whether it's your notepad, or you have Google Docs that you just put down the things that you work on, just so you can easily refer to them when it comes to time to talk about your experiences and even update your resume. So that was something that was really tough for me, but I still went ahead and I was able to update my resume. I sent it to him, and then I was lucky enough to be moved to the next stage, which included a presentation. It included a few, I think 3 panel conversations. And now let me take it back a bit for you guys so you really understand this field that I'm currently working in. I currently work in life sciences in the biopharmaceutical industry. This is not something that I ever envisioned myself to be in. And so the interview process was extremely different from what I've done as a plastics engineer. I wasn't used to making presentations during interviews. For me, it was just, okay, sit with a panel of interviewers and answer questions. That was literally it. I never had I'm speaking or I'm making a presentation type of situation. So this was very, very different. And even though I've worked with these people over the course of 1 year, they still had to interview me for something else. And so yes, they had like background information about me, but they also had to interview me based on what I can do in this new position. So it wasn't like an automatic yes or anything. So yeah, but luckily that was successful. And then I believe a week later I received a call that I got the job, and I was excited because honestly guys, one, if you remember, I wasn't looking to I didn't think I was going to change jobs. I didn't think I was going to end up as an applications engineer. I didn't know all this was going to happen, but at the end of the day, it was a blessing in disguise, honestly. And I'm loving my new position. I love everything I do. But I just wanted to come on here to encourage you. If you feel like you're at a point where you're not being challenged enough, you feel like you're not even being paid enough, you feel like your job doesn't really align with your goals, or you're just working in a toxic environment, don't be afraid to step up and make the change for yourself. Don't be afraid to take control or take back the reins of your life or your career. I could have been sitting there thinking, okay, my boss is going to handle this for me, and then it would have been 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then I'm stuck in this job and I don't have any other experience. You know what I mean? So I'm really glad that I was pushed to make this change and elevate myself and move myself to this next level that I'm in. But if you're afraid, if you're at a point where you feel like you want to make that change, definitely go for it. Don't be afraid. Once you're granted that interview, know that you have something that they want and put your all into it. Don't think that it's automatic because it's an internal job or anything like that. Just see it as another position, another job interview, and put your best foot forward. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed sharing, my interview process with you guys and sipping on my tea. But yeah, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will definitely make another video sharing more about what an applications engineer does and how I feel having switched careers, quote unquote. I'll see you guys on the next video.